Just 7 games left to play in the regular season for the Kansas City Chiefs. As the reigning Super Bowl champs look to snag the 1 seed, they're going to have to pick up wins from the majority of the remaining scheduled teams they will face. Now, they've got a tough stretch ahead. 3 games in the span of just 10 days. Can the Chiefs stay at the top of the hunt? We discuss now. What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Happy Thursday. I'm Hayley Lewis, and this is Chiefs News Daily. We got a lot to talk about today. The NFL actually sent out a memo warning players about recent burglaries, like the ones that happened at Mahomes and Kelce's houses. A South American crime ring might actually be tied to these incidents. Plus, we got 5 people stepping to the podium today to talk about Week 12, so let us break it all down. But first, like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel, and let's get into this one. All right, I got a few trending headlines I want to share with you off the top. Tom Pelissero recently shared an article this morning involving the recent burglaries at the home of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Now, NFL.com is where you can find this article. Pelissero writes that the NFL issued a security alert to team security directors and to the players' union on Wednesday about organized and skilled criminals that are increasingly targeting the homes of professional athletes, according to the memo obtained by NFL.com. Now, Pelissero continues to write, sources say the FBI is investigating the crime wave as international organized crime. The league, the NFL Players Association, and Team Security Forces also have been monitoring the crime spree, which is believed to be tied to a South American crime syndicate. At least one other current NFL player's home was burglarized in the past week. Now, as for how these homes are being targeted, the article explains. Multiple people with knowledge of the crime said that the perpetrators are non-confrontational and do not burglarize homes while residents are inside. Instead, they use public records to find players' addresses and conduct extensive surveillance. Then, by tracking team schedules and the social media accounts of players and their families, they wait until the homes are empty, often during the games, and gain access and quickly steal items such as cash, jewelry, watches, and handbags, focusing mainly on master bedrooms and closets. Mahomes has declined any comment on the situation as it is ongoing. All right, Chiefs President Mark Donovan apparently took a little trip to NYC and had a little media spree, stopping off at CBS Sports, CNBC, and the CBS Morning Show. If you didn't know, the Chiefs game this coming Sunday is on CBS. In those interviews, he shared how he believes T. Swift is an authentic member of Chiefs Kingdom and how the Chiefs Hallmark movie highlights the excitement of the season and franchise success. Here's a clip from his interview with We Need to Talk on CBS Sports.
Think about this. We are sitting today at a time in the National Football League where you've never had the opportunity as a franchise to grow internationally. We're restricted by our domestic marketing territory. The league opened that up 3 years ago. At the same time, we're in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls. At the same time, we've got Patrick, one of the most iconic players. Plus, you've got Taylor and Travis. So a lot of these things sort of lined up together, and that goes back to the responsibility point. Like right now, we need to be investing aggressively in Germany and in Mexico. Right now, we need to be hiring people on Laura's team that can help us grow because, to your point on the Steelers and the Cowboys of the 70s, we're that right now. If we look back 20 years from now and we haven't maximized this opportunity, then we've failed our franchise, and that's how we look at it.
Alrighty, it is a pretty lengthy lineup at the podium today, like usual on a Thursday. We got the coordinators up first, so we're going to kick it off with special teams coordinator Dave Toub, followed by defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, and offensive coordinator Matt Nagy.
Every year we rate all the kickers coming out. He a lot like Bucker. He was our number 1 guy coming out. We had him number 1 on the list, so he was a guy. Obviously, we looked at and. We liked him early, and then he was on the practice squad, so we took a shot and got him, and we're happy we got him. He's got a strong leg. We haven't seen a lot of him, but in practice he's looked really good. He's got that in him. He hit a couple 65-yarders at practice the other day, so he's got a really strong leg. In fact, we had to move him back just on, when we first started out hitting extra points because he was hitting them over the net. We were losing footballs. So we had to move him back. So he's got a really, really strong leg. He's young. He's excited to be here. And, he loves the operation and everything that we got going. So,
I mean, look, the numbers say that you wouldn't be. Now, I don't measure everything on sacks. You know that. That particular quarterback and a bunch of these quarterbacks we've had to play a certain way, and sometimes you're not getting 4 and 5 guys turned loose. I think you guys know what I'm saying, and it makes it hard. And this guy makes one guy miss, and we're off point. He can, like he did on that fourth down play. I hope, we're hoping to crank it up and get the so-called numbers where we want them, or at least get the hits, the pressures, getting the quarterback off his spot. Those are the things that we need to get better at. Yeah, listen. They're playing confident. Listen, it can be a scary bunch when you got a bunch of young guys that got a lot of confidence. They're coming off a bye week. I'm sure Andy's talked about all of that. We're in tune to it. Our eyes are open. Nobody's overlooking this particular unit that we're going against. All we handle is the defense, right? I think this quarterback feels really good about what he's doing. I think they're doing really good things with him. And if we don't go out there and play our best football, that won't be good. Any team in this league can make you look bad. Yeah, well, one of the things we try to do is simplify at times. I think sometimes when you simplify, you play faster. There's been a little bit of that direction this week. We're always going to be multiple because we believe in putting pressure on the team that we're playing. But if everybody can just be on point and just stay in their lane, do their job, we talk about that all the time. When we play our best is when the unit chemistry is like that. Not anybody trying to do their own thing. We haven't had a lot of that this year, so if we can get back to that and not make those mental errors, I think we'll be okay.
Probably the biggest thing that I see is he transfers what he does in practice to the game, and if you look at it, from the practice standpoint, every single rep that he gets, he makes count. And sometimes I think what's even more special about that part of it is he may not be 1 or 2 in the progression, he might be 3 in the progression. And when you get back to 3 in the progression, he's always going to be there doing the right thing. Usually you get that with 1 and 2, and sometimes in 3, it might be a quote-unquote take a playoff type deal. I'm saying more in practice. Always there, always in that spot, and then he just takes that to the game. So protection-wise, I always start off with the communication part. Are we getting the communication product down in-game? And so you go on the road. Last week in Buffalo, it's loud. It's always going to be that way on the road. I think our communication's been pretty good for the most part. Then you gotta make the plays. You got to do the physical part. So whether it's matching your drop up with the type of protection call that it is, matching your set up. If it's a play action play, are we making it look play action, or are we just dropping? Are we getting a good fake in the backfield with the back, or are we just dropping? All that kind of ties together. I think we're definitely improving in that area, but we just feel like, and then are we calling the right plays at the right time too? I mean, it's in unison, all 3 phases, but we're certainly growing. We have a lot of confidence in those guys, but you got to be able to make sure that protection, the apex point of the back of the drop, matches the tackles, and then inside the B gaps with those guards. It's got to all be in unison. Yeah, it's a good problem. I don't see it as a problem. I use that word, but it's for him to be able to get back into the mix. I always start off with number 1, who he is as a football player, what he does for our offense is great stuff. I mean, he's growing as a young kid, as a young football player in this offense. But then you also take his personality, his demeanor, his fire, his energy. You throw that into the mix. With Kareem and the other guys, it does nothing but help you. So whenever that is, whether it's this week or next week, he just brings positivity, and I'm just happy for him to be able to get back.
And today we also got to hear from offensive tackle Joe Thuney as well as defensive tackle Chris Jones. Both players discussing getting back on track and getting back in the win column and what challenges they are facing in Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really hard league. The amount of close games is ridiculous. Every seems every week is they're just it's the league is just so competitive, and but it happens, and I think that's just the main thing is learning from it, going back to the film and trying to improve and get better, and then focusing on your next opponent. So it's part of it, and it's never fun, but just try and learn something from it, make it not totally horrible. Yeah, I mean, whatever the team needs, whatever required, doesn't bother me. It's not like I'm just rely on the past reps or training and stuff, but just whatever's needed by the team, I'm happy to do, and I think there's a lot more space out on the edge, the tackle, and the type of players you're blocking are different than the interior, so just kind of different. Just gotta get comfortable out there, and but it's just you're still playing offensive line, so you still gotta go back to the fundamentals. But yeah.
I love adversity. I think it builds character. I think we got a good group of guys. Energy in the building has been great all week, uplifting. We know it was one loss. It's a lot of errors we can correct, and that's what our main focus has been on this week, making sure we correct those errors and go out and play this week in Carolina. I don't think for us it was ever an undefeated talk. I think it was more so getting better every week. And last week we played a really good football team who got the best of us last week, so it's a lot we can learn from and continue to build from it throughout the year. That's where we're going.
All right, as for practice, all players worked today, including running back Isaiah Pacheco and defensive end Charles Omenihu. Now, both players were limited Wednesday and again today. Head coach Andy Reid shared on Wednesday that their status for Sunday's game is still in that wait-and-see limbo. Expect more answers tomorrow when Big Red addresses the media and he gives out the game day designations. Alrighty, folks, that does it for another episode of Chiefs News Daily. As always, we'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you back here on Friday.